Welcome to the Edward Jones Reporter's Inbox. I'm Joe Trezza, Orioles beat reporter for MLB.com, and it's time to answer some of your burning questions. Let's get started. Will the Orioles seriously entertain trading Trey Mancini? Okay, I would say that probably yes, somewhere down the road. Ever since Mike Elias and Brandon Hyde took over management of this team, one of their mantras has been that they're going to try to infuse the organization with as much talent as they possibly can, right? And at this point, Trey Mancini looks like their biggest asset, right? He's having a breakout year offensively, posting some of the best offensive numbers of any player in the American League. And the big thing with him is that he still has 3 years of team control, kind of like a JT Realmuto situation with the Marlins. They don't have to trade him, but he has value going forward for an organization because he's not so much of a short-term rental. They can consider it this summer, next summer, maybe even the summer after that. So I would say at this point, probably them considering it, yes. But any possibility of Trey Mancini actually being traded, probably more possible further down the line. Okay, let's go to the next question. Who do you think the Orioles would target with the first overall pick in the draft? Okay, so there are three prime candidates, right? The Orioles are technically strongly considering 4 or 5 and keeping their eye on 2 more. But the 3 main candidates are Oregon State catcher Adley Rutschman, Texas prep shortstop Bobby Witt Jr., and Cal first baseman Andrew Vaughn, right? We're about to talk to Mike Elias actually right now in a few minutes, and the overwhelming possibility is that he won't commit to any specific player number 1 in the draft, and that's for good reason, right? The Orioles just wrapped up their final area workout at Camden Yards just this week. Their scouts got to Baltimore today. They haven't had their full scouting staffing meetings yet. They haven't gotten in a room and aired it out and really created camps for each player and gone back and forth on the pros and cons. That's going to happen this weekend with the final decision probably not made until Monday. If you remember some of Michael Elias' history, he had 3 number 1 picks as the scouting director for the Astros. All of those came down to the wire, and this one probably will as well, given its grave importance to the Orioles going forward. Now, a lot of people in the industry believe it'll be Adley Rutschman, who's been kind of a slam dunk number 1 on most draft boards dating back to last season. But Bobby Witt is highly regarded as well. He's younger, he's a middle-of-the-order player, and some are calling him the best shortstop prospect since Alex Rodriguez. So right now, the Orioles have not decided, but it'll probably come down to one of those 2 guys. Okay, third question. Should I believe the hype around Grayson Rodriguez? Yes, a lot of people are. Grayson Rodriguez, the right-hander, number 1 overall pick, the club's number 1 draft pick a year ago, is dominating the Sally League last year in his first full year of pro ball. 6-0 with a 1.47 ERA over his first 8 starts, striking out almost 13 batters per 9, and that kind of jives with what a lot of the younger pitching prospects in the Orioles organization are doing right now. They're missing a lot of bats, way more compared to last year, and that's a positive sign. But Grayson Rodriguez is probably the best prospect out of all of them, given his build and 4-pitch mix. He has top of the rotation type profile, so I would believe it. Number 4. What's up with Michael Gibbons? He's been giving away games, can't seem to find the zone. The Orioles are trying to figure that out. Look, they think that right now it's a confidence issue. That's really the only thing that can explain why Gibbons is walking so many more batters than his career rate and giving up so many more home runs. The fact is that they really need him probably more than any team needs one reliever. Just because of the way that the rest of their bullpen is shaped up. He's their most reliable and their most decorated bullpen arm. And, Brandon Hyde has wanted to kind of pull him back from lower leverage situations lately to kind of take some pressure off him so he can maybe get his form back, then return him to the 9th inning. The way that the rest of the bullpen is kind of put together doesn't really allow that, right? We saw Gibbons enter in a 1-run game in the 7th inning a few nights ago, pitch a dominant inning before giving up a game-tying home run in the 8th. The Orioles are looking towards that dominant 7th as an indicator that he's on his way to returning to form, but he'll need at least a few more of those types of appearances before they're sure about that. Okay. Number 5. Which current O's are the most legitimate trade bait come July that might bring a decent return. Okay, that kind of jives with the first question about Trey Mancini, and long-term, he's probably their best asset. But if we're looking for short-term players who could possibly be dealt by this deadline, I'd probably look towards Andrew Cashner, who's having a resurgence season. He's starting tonight against the Giants, using his fastball way more than his four-seam fastball way more than last season, pitching up in the zone, and really playing his three other secondary pitches off that, striking out more batters than last year, walking fewer, and he's lowered his ERA by about a run. So I would look for teams to target him. He's a veteran right-hander who's pitched in both the rotation and the bullpen. He can probably help somebody come the stretch run. Number 6, is Joey Rickards' move to Norfolk to make room for Trumbo's return? No, Joey Rickards' move to Norfolk was to make room for Keon Broxton, who the club traded, who the club acquired from the Mets late last week. And since Rickard had been optioned within the span of a few days, he wasn't eligible to come back when they needed another outfielder when Chris Davis hit the injured list last weekend. That's when they promoted DJ Stewart, who's been starting in right field every day since he got called up. Trumbo just began a rehab assignment at AA Bowie. His might take, he's not going to be reevaluated until the middle of June. He's not going to be reevaluated until the middle of June, so his return is still kind of a ways away. The Rickard thing was more of a corresponding move for Broxton, who's been playing center field every day. And that'll wrap it up for the Edward Jones Reporter's Inbox. I'm Joe Trezza, the Orioles beat reporter for MLB.com. Thanks for joining us.